So we all know the importance of eccentric training when it comes to tendon injury. But is there an even better way training eccentrically for the tendon? Because obviously the whole point of it is that you're loading through the tendon more than you are through the muscle. And this is because obviously when the muscle is being elongated, then obviously the muscle's still contracting, the tendon's getting more stretch and therefore more direct load under that lengthening effect. So it's actually creating more tendon load relative to, say, a concentric contraction. Now obviously the dilemma, if there is such a dilemma, is that as this happens in a voluntary contraction, is the muscle's actually relaxing its tone down as you eccentrically go out. So if the muscle was held in a solid contraction and then you pulled the joint line out, at the joint position out, you'd get more stretch through the tendon. So that would be obviously really loading up on that tendon and stimulating that effect. But obviously what happens is that does happen, but the muscle is also lengthening a little bit as well, and it is relaxing out a little bit as well as you eccentrically take that muscle out. So is there a better way? Well, yeah, with the Compex muscle stem, you can contract the muscle concentrically and it shortens, and that obviously stretches the tendon, and then you can move against that contraction. So in the contraction phase, say it's on your calf and your Achilles, so you could go up on the step, shortening. On the contraction phase, then you could pull down, so you push your heel back down, which obviously the muscle's still contracted, still shortened, but now you're really loading and lengthening through that tendon. So obviously on that regard, you're getting much more eccentric overloading to the tendon. Now I know we are on the muscle as well, but we are on the tendon. So if you think about it, there's no other way that you could achieve that voluntarily, because in a normal contraction, like I said before, you're going to get elongation of the muscle. The muscle's going to actually relax out a little bit. Now obviously you're going to be cautious with this. This is definitely a higher level tactic because it's going to be a lot more overloading to the tendon. But obviously remember, tendon load and therefore progressive overload is what makes tendons get better. So if you think about it, obviously you could start off with isometrics for building into, then into some normal voluntary eccentrics, load the eccentric up because obviously the muscle's going to have to remain in a higher tone over time, more elongation on the tendon, and moving on to muscle stem where you eccentrically do the dynamic stuff with the contraction phase going, which would be a more end stage kind of thing. And you could even possibly venture towards loading up in that position as well. Whether you'd need to is another question. So it's another way of progressing through the phases from the easier stuff to the harder stuff, thinking about progressing that higher end rehab stuff. So yeah, so muscle stem can be very useful therefore for the eccentrics. You can use it on various parts of your body. So if you were doing tennis elbow, then obviously it's going to shorten the extensors and you're going to pull down against them extensor tendons and therefore elongation and loading there. So yeah, so have a think about that one, and I'll see you next time.